worldwide. Alright, man, in the crazy world that we're living in, who would have ever thought that somebody would pull a drive-by on one of our favorite pop stars, Rihanna, man, and it's just the strangest occurrence, and apparently this happened, that somebody decided to wake up one day and say, yeah, no, what? I'm gonna pull up on Rihanna's house, man. I'm gonna pull out a strizzy, and I'm gonna air it out. I don't give a blip who's around. I'm gonna boom. Anyways, man, I go by the name of Caesar, aka Mr. Secret Rider. You're tuned in to apparently this happened. Apparently, Rihanna's house got shot up. But before we even get into it, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and without any further ado, let's get into it.
TMZ Live, there was a just shocking, scary moment for Rihanna on Sunday when somebody drove by her house, stopped, and fired 10 rounds inside, and she was there with her children.
With a rifle, by the way, firing with an assault rifle type of weapon, according to law enforcement.
So it wasn't a regular, just a handgun where someone can pull one of those, man. It was an assault rifle where, you know, like, that's more range, more firepower, and you know what? It's right to assume that the person meant business and they weren't coming for play. They were coming to hurt some. Now, what could be the motivation behind something like this happening? So work with me, walk with me, and let's just, like, you know, kind of start to, like, let the wheels spin in your mind as to what could motivate someone to do something like this, right?
Sources, and that person is now in police custody, by the way, charged with attempted murder, or booked for attempted murder.
Which
at this
clearly
point
is.
Yes, a 35-year-old woman who, the bizarre thing, I mean, drives up to Rihanna's house.
Right.
And a house, by the way, that she's had a lot of issues with people showing up there. But this person opens fire multiple times with this rifle. Thankfully, nobody in the home was injured.
And what's crazy about this whole thing.
And by the way, in case you guys don't know, her name is Ivana Lizette Ortiz, and she's a 35-year-old woman. And she's the one who's accused of, you know, doing this drive-by. It's wild, man. Throwing your life away for nothing. Like, absolutely nothing.
Is the woman that was arrested, they've now released her name to the public, and we've done some background digging on her. She has a past with law enforcement. She's been arrested for domestic violence, careless driving. Her current addresses show that she lives in the Orlando, Florida area. So there's nothing that's tying her
to
here.
LA?
So it makes you wonder, did she get on a plane and come here, or did she drive?
So this is probably, it's not even probably, like, it's right to assume that this is a premeditated, you know, set of actions that this person has taken upon themselves. And they live all the way out in Florida, like Orlando. Now, you coming all the way, something deep must be happening. It's either she has some issues, like, you know, of a mental kind, or there's a personal issue, or was ASAP dipping his pen in a different ink? You know, was he, you know, fraternizing and having a little side piece action? And knowing how ASAP and Rihanna are, like, no disrespect to both of you guys, but I know you guys are a little bit kinky, so was this woman, you know, part of your boudoir activities? I don't know.
This car that she was in front of the house from Florida. Her addresses are in Florida, in the Orlando area.
So Rihanna has had problems not just at this house, but I remember
previous home also that she moved out of because of
a house in
multiple burglaries.
In Pacific Palisades, multiple burglaries, stalkers. I mean, this has, you know, she kind of embodies the conundrum of being a.
You know, side note, when Rihanna was just entering the game, and she was brand new, like the very first song that she did, I think she had featured on Cardinal Official's, like one of his joints, right? I actually saw her when they were opening up the MTV studios in downtown Toronto. I don't know if it's still there, but I got to see her and stand about maybe like 5-10 feet away from her, Jay-Z, and at the time Tierra Marie was also signed to Rockefeller, and you could just see her just looking at this island girl. She was shy. Hov was there with a big ass chain, and you know, it was like he was wearing stars on his neck. It was wild, man. I had never seen jewelry like that in my life. And I've been around a bunch of hustlers, man. Like, I've never seen any chain like that. It was crazy. But yeah, man, just proud of her, man. Super proud.
Big celebrity, where there are, you know, both unstable people and people who are trying to score a quick payday, where they are just targets. And, this was LAPD, and, there is a special unit there for, people, who are stalkers, and where a celebrity can go to this high-profile unit. But they will tell you at this high-profile unit that they can only do so much.
Right.
That
If someone is mentally unstable, yes, they can try to stop, but you can't predict
What do you do?
what someone like that is going to do.
you get a restraining order, and these are the people who are least likely to obey a restraining order.
Right.
So, you get a restraining order, and they go back and they do exactly what they've done before, and we see that over and over and over again. You talk about, putting somebody under an involuntary psychiatric hold.
That's
72
only-
hours.
right.
It's a
And that's
revolving
over.
door.
Right.
And even
In the midst of them having this discussion, right? Because I'm located in Toronto, Canada, right? And my whole thing is, when it comes to protecting your property, I think California is kind of similar to what it's like in Canada, in Toronto specifically. I think you have the right to have a firearm in your house, but I'm not quite sure what the policy is when it comes to discharging the firearm when you're protecting your own property or yourself from any intruders or assailants that are trying to gain entry, right? In Canada, it's crazy. So you can have a stick. You can have a bunch of sticks, like legally, that is, right? A whole room full of sticks, man. A whole room. But if someone comes in your house, man, and you discharge one of those weapons, or you gun button or something crazy, guess what? That person who entered your home is going to have more rights than you, and you're most likely going to serve more time than them, because even if they're on your private property, in your private property, and they're in your private property with you having no idea what exactly their intentions are, it's only right to assume that someone who's uninvited coming into your house is coming for nefarious purposes, right? So you do whatever to them, and because you protected your home, you now are liable and likely to go to jail and serve more time than the person who came and broke into your home. So I don't know what the policy is like in the U.S., but this whole thing is crazy, and my mind is spinning, and I'm thinking conspiracies, but I don't know, bro. Like, it's crazy. A lot of things have been floating around saying, you know what? I'll save it. Let's carry on.
if they're convicted of, trespassing or stalking, the way the jails are, especially in LA, they're so overcrowded that, you will spend maybe 6 months, more likely 3 days.
I don't see, I mean, look, this just happened 24 hours ago, but if this becomes a situation where there's a plea deal accepted for one of those lesser charges you talked about, where someone gets out.
They're in and out.
But attempted murder is a very serious charge.
That's true.
And if they end up going forward and sticking to that as the charge, and this person is convicted of that, then you don't have the revolving door.
You're right. But the act itself is escalated to such a level that somebody could have died in that house.
Right.
Rihanna or her kids. So it
Which
has
is
to
why-
reach that level for something to be handled in a way that can take somebody off the streets for any lengthy period of time.
The new DA is not going to be one, I would think, to talk about a
I
plea
agree.
deal here.
No, I agree.
I just spoke to
Person
someone
doesn't deserve it.
close to both of them, and I said, we've got to assume they're going to move now, that they're going to immediately put this house in the market, or they're at least not going to live in it anymore.
Right.
It's not even in a gated community. You can access, like this woman,
Yeah.
you can,
can
most
walk by.
celebrities, they live behind a gated community that's protected by security. This, you can drive right up and, you're outside
What
their
did they say
gate.
about moving?
And they said, oh, I don't think they've gotten there yet. And I said, oh my gosh, they have to
I mean,
know
the reality
at
is
this
she
point
has,
that they're not
they
going to
have
go
other
back.
homes,
Right,
and they
of
don't have
course.
to stay here.
Right.
But it
would
just-
seem like you wouldn't want to
They're gonna
after
move,
something
yeah.
like that happening.
Well, again, she is used to people violating the law to get at her or get at her things.
This is the first time, though, that I think certainly this level of crime has happened since they have 3 kids now. They have 3 young children at home.
It changes
and
the
that
game.
changes the calculus, I think.
Hi, I'm Zaji Jones.
You know what? When it's all said and done, I think it would be a great idea for them to definitely relocate and find a different environment and make sure it's gated as well, because when it's so accessible to the public and as a public figure, it's a tricky situation. Now, back to the lady Ivana, whatever her name is, Miss Ortiz, who committed this felony, this is crime, right? I wonder what the motivation is because conspiracy theorists are saying that it's to do with Rihanna, choosing or being selected to testify against a certain high-profile person. Now, I'm not gonna say the name, man, but I'll throw this up, and you can do the rest, right? If you don't know, man, just pause this, go ask your friends, and say, "Hey, who throws this up?" And the rest is history, right? I'm not trying to mess with anybody. I'm not trying to wind up like certain people who are not seeing the light of day right now. I'm not trying to be swept up in anything as a small fry already. I am not trying to be caught up in any type of net on the net, no pun intended. But it's just weird that someone would choose to discharge a weapon and use an assault rifle and aim it at your crib. It's just, I don't know what motivation would a person have to just randomly wake up one day and just say, hey, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go over to such and house and I'm just gonna air it out. It sounds sketchy to me, and there's nothing clear yet as to like what the reasoning is. I guess we're gonna hear about it down the road because it can't be a craze like fan, a fanatic. No, it can't be that. There might be something more nefarious or something behind the scenes. Or sometimes people just have issues and they need a target to blame for their issues. And it strikes me as possibly one of those situations. But we're yet to hear. It's yet to be determined, and we're going to hear about it. But with that being said, man, Rihanna's house got shot up like crazy. Like crazy, crazy. I wonder how like ASAP as a man feels about it too, man. I wonder how she feels. But all in all, I'm just glad that no one got hurt. Okay? Now mental trauma and just the stress of feeling like my kids because that's an invasion of your privacy in a way, right? Or feel the sanctity of where you feel is your safe space. So I don't know, but anyways, my name is Caesar. You've been tuned into Apparently This Happened. I appreciate one and all for locking in. Do me a super solid like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend, and I'll be back with another one. More reactions, more news, more updates, and etc. And yeah, man, I appreciate one and all for the support. I'll get up with you guys. Don't chase the number, chase the dream. And above all, man, keep your vibration and your frequency up. All right? Been talking all day. I'm exhausted. I'll get up with you. One.
Jacksonville, Florida. First, I want to give my prayers to Rihanna.
Worldwide.